Welcome, everybody, to Manic About Movies. I am co host number one, Aaron, and this is my co host numero dos.
Chris.
And this week, I made Christopher watch the 1994 Kevin Smith classic, Clerks. Take it away, Chris.
This was not at all what I expected it to be. I
Good.
I thought it'd be like just like a funny movie that was like just like a typical 90s comedy, but boy was I shocked. It was kind of like I imagine it was like for like not I didn't look into the background of the movie or anything, so I imagine it's like target audience was like for a film festival or something, because the way it was shot and stuff was just so different from a majority of things.
Yep, you
With
are correct.
and Kevin Smith, if I remember right.
Yep, that's the director.
Okay,
Yeah,
he directed it, but he also was in it almost the entire thing.
I wouldn't say the entire thing. He's only Silent Bob, so he
Yeah,
doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't have any lines of dialogue, but
well,
he
he
sits
does.
outside.
He
Oh
does have a
yeah, he
line in
does.
it.
He has one little monologue, as he does in every one of his movies.
But no, I thought this was a different movie. I don't want to say great because I still don't exactly know what I think of it. But uh I think
Yeah,
overall it was worth a watch and it was really good.
yeah, it's got a solid 90% on Rotten Tomatoes on a budget of $27,500,
Hmm.
which might be the cheapest movie ever made, and
I mean,
I think it might be up there.
I think that it was you could definitely tell with some of like the extras that this is a very cheaply made movie.
Yeah, some of the acting is really bad. Some
But
of them.
with like some others, I think it was like really good. Like I think the three main people, like uh
Randall,
Randall,
Dante,
Rolando, Dante, and Veronica.
yeah, Veronica.
Or yeah, I think all of them are really good, but it definitely, yeah, you can see it lacking in others,
Oh yeah, the some of the extras are really
like
bad.
the man who died.
Yeah, uh the guy that gets offended when they're like cussing at the counter, and then he's like looking through the nudie magazine and shows him that guy is really bad. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm offended.
and I
The
even think
egg guy
I,
is bad too.
I think Kaylin's subpar, but I guess
Which one is
as
Caitlin? I'm trying to remember now. Caitlin?
Caitlin,
Caitlin?
yeah,
Oh, I thought you said Kaylin, and I was like, who's Caitlin?
no, Caitlin.
Like subpar in what way as a person?
I just like no, as yes, no, as like her acting.
Oh yeah. No, yeah, she was not good. But in real life, she ended up marrying Randall.
I can see
They
that.
they fell in love on set and then got married and divorced quickly.
I think Randall probably might have been the best actor out of all of them, followed by Veronica.
I would agree. I would agree. For
Yeah.
sure, Randall, I think, is the best part of the movie. I mean, I think he has kind of the best
Oh,
dialogue.
he's the best. He's the best part of the movie, but I was referring to the acting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, his acting helped, but I also think he had the coolest dialogue. Dante I think he's good.
Hmm.
He's the de facto lead. What do you think about Jay and Silent Bob?
I think they're funny, and it's kind of like in a way. Now you might be like, "Wow, he's smoking crack," but I think they're kind of like,
Well, that's what Jay and Silent Bob are probably doing.
no, yeah, but it's like they're like they were like there to like watch over him and guide him because
Yeah,
like they're such small roles, but like they were always watching, and then they helped lead him in the right direction when he got lost.
back to Veronica. Yeah, man. There's a lot of hot chicks out there, but not all of them bring you lasagna from home or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I know so much about this movie because I was at least like the first few Kevin Smith movies. I think the last one I saw was Tusk. Oh, never mind. I saw a few of them, but this was he was working at that quiz stop, and essentially it was just taking the stories of his everyday work, and he had to film at night, so he'd work a full day shift, and at nights would film the movie. It was
Okay.
essentially just all his friends. He just bought a camera and said, "Screw it, I'm going to make a movie with my own money." Took out a bunch of loans, and I guess that's why the blinds are shut the entire movie because they didn't want any lighting coming outside or you knowing that it's dark out because they had to film at night after his shift. And
Okay.
they did it in black and white because he didn't have enough money to afford lighting. So he just,
I was curious, yeah, because I was like, I guess maybe in the other ones because I did see that there's two other movies and what looks like a TV show, an animated TV show.
yeah, I've seen the second Clerks. I haven't seen the third one yet.
But I think the others must be in color because I that's what kind of threw me off guard when I first like saw it because I was like, wait, I thought this was supposed to be in color because I saw a picture from the movie and there was in color.
Yeah, there's the when it first came out, like it was a surprise like hit that everyone loved it
Uh-huh.
because it was like, made by a bunch of friends for really, really cheap. And then for years, I think he kind of stayed silent about it. And no pun intended, Kevin Smith. And then I guess for years people were like, well, it's from the perspective of a bygone era, or it's from the perspective of security cameras. So the security cameras would be in black and white. And then eventually, like after years of theories, it was just like, no, I
Nah, man, I
couldn't
was broke.
I couldn't afford. I was working at that quit stop. I was literally the cashier there.
Yeah. And I just think, you know, I I guess I don't even know how to like go through it like this week because like this isn't a movie that I think like it's the way it was structured was not like a movie almost.
No, I think it's almost kind of Tarantino inspired, which I know he was a big inspiration for this movie because he was in it kind of started as an independent filmmaker first that was just working in a movie store,
Yeah.
kind of like him. It was just like, I'm gonna write my own movie. So it's kind of just structured where they have a title and then it's a scene in the day that plays out that has to do with that.
Yeah.
It's kind of no straight narrative besides Dante, Veronica, and Caitlin.
Yeah, I mean it goes through their lives, but like it kind of like I guess has the main like emotion or main like point of it, but it's yeah, it's just a bunch of different events that happen throughout their day.
Yeah. But he's not even supposed to be here today.
And I guess how do you want to continue?
Well, I guess you have any thoughts on filmmaking parts of it? You have any specialty shots or ideas that you really liked, certain scenes? Because it's kind of just a collection of scenes, this movie.
Yeah, I mean, because I do really like I kind of like how in one day they got up to so much stuff and they jumped around from thing to thing. Now, oh, I loved when Randall was. Well, I think probably one of my favorite scenes was when Randall's ordering the movies
Oh,
and
yeah.
and he's just going through all the pornos that he's ordering, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, what was that you need?" And it's just some like 3-year-old girl who's just listening to these yeah come on face come on
Big old
white loads
titties.
of cums big old titties black cocks with white cum.
Yeah, there's quite a few honestly really funny scenes. Another one of like I have two other ones. It's like where they're both venting where, Dante's like, "Oh, I never complain about the customers. I'm just trying to be nice to them." And Randall's like, "Oh, I hate the customers. They ask the dumbest questions." And they,
Oh yeah,
have that montage. I thought it's such a great scene because it's like I worked in retail in high school and I
yeah.
got stupid questions like that at stores. And I was like, "Okay, this is so true." But then the one part I hated, which I kind of thought brought it down, and it's probably because they had no budget for music, is like when she's like, "Where's the cheap section?" And it's like right behind her, and there's a big
Uh,
sign that says sale section,
uh.
and it's like this weird, and I was
Oh
like,
yeah. And I noticed they use the default count cat sound effect where the
yeah.
cat goes "Meow" after
And
each
they
hit.
they just play a bunch of cover songs of big hit songs. Like they had a really weird, bad cover of "Go Your Own Way" by Fleetwood Mac and a couple other ones, and I'm like, they're just probably avoiding paying any money
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And what's another I loved I think Veronica was my favorite. Actually, I think she might have been my favorite character. I loved
37 Cox.
37 Cox. And I mean, I ca I this I kind of want to see if they like continue the story with them too. 'Cause I love relationships in movies.
Yeah, that is a good thing. I've seen Clerks 2. I would like to see Clerks 3. The only thing that kind of sucks to me is with Kevin Smith is he
Uh-huh.
started out so amazing. Like he did Clerks, then he did Mallrats, Chasing Amy and Dogma with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Um, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Those are all hits, and kind of like ever since then, he hasn't really made a hit. Clerks 2 did all right, and then Clerks 3, like, apparently is really good, actually, again, unlike most of his new movies. He just happens to be friends with all these like famous people, so he always has like Johnny Depp, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Johnny Depp's daughter now, and like all these people, and he kind of makes really crappy movies now. No offense,
I mean,
Kevin.
I guess it's kind of like just like once you know people, they're just doing it for fun rather than doing it for their paychecks.
Yeah, he's written a bunch of comic books. He wrote the scripts for the Superman movie that was supposed to have, but that Tim Burton was supposed to do, with like Nicolas Cage was supposed to be Superman and then it got canceled. He wrote the script for that. But I think another great scene that I like is when he's like sitting there and he's like Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. And then it's a whole thing about, well,
Oh
they
yeah.
didn't finish building it in Return of the Jedi, the second Death Star. Imagine those poor independent contractors.
Oh yeah. I mean, Randall was so dumb but so smart at the same time.
Yeah, I think he's by far the way the best character, and I'd say the same thing in Clerks too. He's absolutely hilarious. But
Uh,
yeah, yeah,
I
well,
I just looked up something. Do you know what his daughter's name is?
yep. Harley Quinn Smith.
Yeah, there's no. I
Yeah, she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
oh really?
She was one of the Manson girls. Oh,
Oh, gotcha, gotcha,
my Apple
gotcha.
Watch acting up. She was also in a movie with Johnny Depp's daughter that Kevin Smith directed, and from all accounts, I've heard it's not good. But
Okay.
yeah, he's a has like a YouTube channel called because he lost a lot of weight now, but his YouTube channel is I think Fat Man on Batman, where he would just kind of talk comics all the time. Yeah, he's a big comic nerd.
Hmm.
But
Well, I'm hoping the next one because I plan on watching all of them. I'm hoping the next one's also. I hope they keep with the theme of kind of being in this shop for the entire thing.
yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything if you do end up watching it because I genuinely do like Clerks too. I still
Uh,
think the first one's the best. I haven't seen three yet, though I'd like to see it. I just remember when it came out last year, like the marketing was all about he threw all of his famous friends in there, so it's like every celebrity that's his friends just in it, like small cameos. So I hope it's not like that because I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back from '01. I love it. and then the reboot from 2019. I could be off. God dang it, Apple Watch. Um, it was just a bunch of cameos of like Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and famous people, and I was like, kind of didn't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely. I'm just trying to think of like what to talk about the movie because it was just so different from like a typical movie. And
Yeah, I think.
it was really good.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, that was the best year in movie history. It was 1994. I'll debate anyone on it because you had Pulp
Mhm.
Fiction, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Clerks, and I'm probably missing a couple other ones that I know that were huge hits. But what is what's your rating? I'll just say recommend it for people that watch it that want a weird,
I give
eclectic kind of
it
comedy.
I give it like a 4.
That's what I was gonna say too. I mean, to me, it's so kind of original.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, there's not even many imitators of that hangout style movie
Uh-huh.
besides like Richard Linklater's and Quentin. So it's kind of like there's nothing like it. So I just for its originality alone, I got to give it a 4, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah. And for like using, I guess, him and his friends for that quality of acting that they had is really, really good. So like it's both good acting but unique. And I feel like that's hard with like something to do with an indie film like that is you either normally like I mean, there's a lot of indie films that have really good acting, like A24 films,
Yeah.
but to be like that cheap and that like, oh, just a couple of friends, and to also have that like level of acting with it, I think is very rare and hard to do.
Yeah, I just think it's such like maybe the like most insane Hollywood story of like a famous director coming into existence where he literally was just working at a convenience store and said, I can make a movie inside this and just
So, I mean,
did
do
it.
you know what like how he released the movie? Like, was it just at a festival, or you sell it to somebody?
If I remember correctly, he films it, he does it all. He kind of tried to shop it around
Uh
and
huh.
he didn't have any experience, so he's like, how do I shop it around? And eventually the Hollywood guru that made everyone that is canceled for good reason, Harvey Weinstein, I guess found it, saw it was amazing, and started putting it out on the festivals, and that's how Kevin Smith
Okay.
was like the first big Miramax guy. That's with
Uh,
all like the Matt Damons and big names came from.
okay. Yeah,
So it
because
somehow landed in Harvey Weinstein's lap. Oh,
as
that's a
other things,
oh wow. I just realized I dug myself into a hole saying that
that
comment.
was that was one.
Well, I guess that's it for this week. And next week, Chris will be handing me a movie of some sort. We'll have to figure out movies we have not seen.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like this would be good to do again, but we would have to expand on it, or we would have to do like maybe one or two of like the style because I feel like it's such a unique thing that is hard to like put into words, and it's like something that you can't really talk about more as like it's more of an experience.
Yeah, it's kind of it's one of those movies that it's just so unique.
Yeah.
It's so different from everything you've seen, especially currently if you a big movie person now.
Hmm.
You don't just have movies that's like, all right, let's just put some scenes together.
It's like have you seen there's a horror movie I've watched recently that was so strange.
Some might
And
even say Doctor Strange.
let me see, what is it? Oh, Skinamarink.
How the hell do you find a movie called Skinamarink?
It was like it got really popular off of Letterbox.
Huh.
And it was just it's something that's just so bizarre that
Kind of looks like Blair Witch Project from the pictures I'm looking at.
yeah, but like the thing is it's like there's pretty much no acting in it whatsoever.
It's got a
It's it
poltergeist
it
reference.
it's mostly just still shots the entire time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's very
And
rare to find those.
and it's just 100 minutes of just like still shots. And it's just so hard to like explain it without watching it. And I kind this is a movie that falls into that genre because like you can't
Yeah, that
it
it's a hangout movie. It's a good.
yeah.
It's like you just sit back. It's not you're not deep level thinking with this movie, even though a couple scenes kind of have it. Like the characters are having a deep thought, but I mean the jokes are kind of toilet kind of humor, but
Yeah.
kind of spoken intelligently. Because the thing is, I think it's so good about it, since they're all friends, they're just kind of hanging out with each other with the exception of like two or three just the random extras
Mhm.
that can't act whatsoever. It's just like, oh, this is a conversation I have with my friends, but this is a heightened situation that is all happening in one day that you maybe have over a long time, and you're getting all these just weird stories.
Yeah, and I mean I think the movie is much like Randall where it's so smart but conveyed in a very and like shown in a very dumb way.
Yeah,
Like Randall will use such big words to say such dumb things.
yeah, it's such a unique movie.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll sign out for this week. Sorry that this one was a little hard for us to explain. Just if
I mean,
anyone watches this, I would just recommend to watch this one.
yeah.
Maybe we'll watch two and three, and we'll combine that into an episode maybe later down the line.
Yeah. I mean, because this is 20 minutes, but we could definitely maybe we could watch tack on the other one and watch two and three.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, two is like has a bit more of a narrative, but
Okay.
if you want to watch it, you can watch it, and we'll decide if we want to put this in an episode.
Yeah, sure.
All right, adios, everyone.
Adios.